Hi, I'm Ingrid Michaelson. Hi, I'm Ingrid Michaelson, and this is the Weekly Feed.
That is what you do to me.
South by 2012, the Weekly Feed. We have Ingrid Michaelson in the house. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but that's to be expected here, I think.
Yeah, this is the whole mantra is rock and roll at 10 a.m.
Yeah, we did something at 9. We had to be up at 8 and went over and sang at 9. Things don't sound the same at 9.
Sure. Do you have to prepare for that?
There's
You
no
just go
way to
straight into
prepare really. I didn't really, in the shower I did a little like kind of things, but yeah, my voice doesn't really work until 5 or 6 in the evening.
Right.
Just from being awake and alive. And
Sure.
So we started playing and then some notes. I was like, oh, that's what's gonna happen. All right, and I'll just go with it. But
You've been doing long enough to roll with it at this point.
Bright lights. It was very odd, but it ended up being really fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of the rigors you get put on the festivals, though. I mean, it's such a different beast than just your regular touring schedule. I mean, are you doing multiple shows and everything?
We're doing I can say what I'm doing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Stripping and massacring small animals. No, I'm doing some in-stores at Anthropology today, and then tomorrow I have something in the morning, and then a show at a church.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just crazy
It's
how
not
they
so
throw
bad.
it in. Yeah.
I've
Some
had
bands are
interviews
doing like
here and
13 shows in 4 days, and that's
Yeah, but I feel like for me, coming to South by, I feel like the fewer. And just make them really good,
right?
Instead of like tons of little things or
Sure.
Because I've done South by where you play a bunch of shows and no one's really listening to you and everyone's drinking and texting and
right.
I did a show like that at South by and I lectured the audience, but nobody was listening to me, so it didn't matter. There was like 600 people and about 500 of them.
All of them are looking down.
Blackberries, drinking, talking. And then there was like a few people in the front, and I was like, "You're being so disrespectful to everybody up here!" And people were like,
"There's some artists."
And there was like 3 people in the front, like, "Yeah, disrespectful."
No, there's some artists who's taking a stand against that too. I went to a Ryan Adams show recently, and you were not allowed to turn on your phone. And
what about filming? See, I don't want to hurt people.
Right.
I just be respectful. So I figured we'd pick really like good, quiet, vibey things to do. That's why we're doing our big shows at the church tomorrow, because apparently it's pin drop quiet and can't even have alcohol in there, which is always good. Alcohol makes for it makes for rock and roll. If it's a quiet show though, like an acoustic, my full band isn't here, so we're not really that loud. It's just a few of us.
Sure. Well, let's talk about the new record.
Okay.
It kind of threw me for a loop actually a little bit, because you did the one-off single in the middle with Parachute, right? And this was much more poppy, I think, than we'd ever heard you. And then I even saw you do a dance routine.
Yeah, we dance. It's embarrassing. Some of the things that I do, I look back at it and I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. But you did that, so
it allows us to never be able to escape our pasts. So I did. And then what happened?
So you turn around and now you really have this really nice, lush and darker record on top of it. But was there a point where you when you were doing Parachute where you went, I would like to try this bombastic pop thing, and then turn around and go, nah, never mind?
I'm of the mindset that I just want to do everything that I want to do, kind of a thing. So I felt like Parachute was its own little animal. I wrote it. It got done by somebody in the UK, and she had a lot of success with it. So I was like, let me do a little funky, poppy version of it over here. And I didn't want to attack it onto my record. I didn't want to make a new record around it, because it just didn't. It felt like it just was existing in its own little realm. So I let it be that. And the Human Again, my new record. The only thing I went into when I went into the recording process was I don't want to make any more little ditties, like little cutie songs, because I feel like I've done that, I'm good at it, we get it. And so that was, and I hadn't even written any, I had written 8 songs when I went into my producer, David Kahn, when I went to his studio. And over the course of last year, out of those 8 songs, only one of them remained on the record, and I wrote the entire record in about 6 or 7 months. And just, there were some words he told me. He said, when I see you play live, you sing out, let's do that on the record. And I was like, oh, okay, I've never done that before. So I did, and that inspired me to write bigger, and that's just kind of what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a personal favorite on there. I think it's called I'm Through. Is that the title?
You know what's so interesting is that's men gravitate towards that song more than women.
Is that right?
Yeah, multiple guys have been like, that's like the best song.
What is it? I mean, it's a beautiful song, and it's the full orchestration I think that really stands out too.
Yeah, it's almost like to me the beginning sounds like an old musical, like an old movie, Fred Astaire kind of, you know, song. Just the orchestration of the strings and then that's how the song starts, and then they go away and it's just piano, and then they come back again in this little interlude in the middle, and it's just so. Yeah, to me it's very old Hollywood, that song.
Yeah, it's a perfect little song.
Thanks.
You're trying on a few different hats these days too. Funny or Die?
Yeah. Biblelot.
Yeah. Is this? I mean, are there going to be more of these? Is fake people? Is this going to be a thing now?
We have more in our brains. That we're going to do more of them. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So that's kind of stepping out though. You did this on stage. I mean, you know.
I went to school for theater. I taught children's theater for 4 years, and my shows are, you know, I like to be humorous, and it's just I like making people laugh as much as I like them to like my music. It's like a 50-50 thing. So I actually wrote a pilot with a very good friend of mine from high school, and we're kind of in talks right now about getting it bought, basically.
Right.
So and it's funny. It's a funny.
That's
show.
exciting though.
Yeah, I love it. I feel like I went to school for musical theater and I wanted to do that so badly, but I finally, you know, after auditioning for a few years, realized I don't have that like Broadway voice. Right. And so I kind of turned to writing music, and then I just fell in love with music. But I'd love to go back and just be a clown because I'm good at it. It's fun.
You mentioned the children's theater and everything, and you've got the PS22 performance as well. There's a look on your face that when all of those kids start singing, I mean, it feels like...
It's crazy. When that just happened 4 or 5 days ago, and I know the kids. I grew up in Staten Island. I'm from Staten Island. And when I found out about them a few years ago, I was just like so excited because Staten Island doesn't get heard about much.
Right.
So I was I had been in contact with the chorus leader about working with him at some point, and we never really got it together. And then so this was a wonderful like combination of VH1 and Save the Music. Was running a promo on EW, and that's what this was for. You know, raising money to keep programs like that alive. And so I love to be part of that. Even without the kids, was amazing. And so to have them be part of this whole video thing that we did, I was just in love with them. And as soon as, because they didn't come in right away, I started singing.
Sure.
And then they all came in on this one part, and I wasn't facing them, I was facing the cameras because they wanted to get the shot of me and the kids behind me. Yeah, as soon as they came in, it was just.
I mean, you can tell
magical.
it's on your face.
Yeah.
Those kids are so passionate about that. I mean,
they're
they get
so
into
cute.
it.
They're all like moving back and forth and like acting out the words. I know. He's great. Greg, his name is. He's the director. Because those kids every year are different. He only does the 5th graders, so the turnaround is every year it's different, and every year the kids are great. So what's the common denominator? It's him. You know, he's just so passionate about it, and he knows how to corral them and talk to them. And 5th graders are not like New York City 5th graders are not easy.
Sure.
Like they have opinions. They're like little people. You know. And
like little people almost.
Yeah. Well, they're like little grown-ups,
right.
But they're but yeah, they were. You could tell they just loved him and respected him, and he really commanded it, and they just so great. And a little drummer, a 10-year-old kid was drumming.
Jumps over and dives for that drum set.
Did he?
Like it's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, he had learned it that day.
It's crazy. Oh, it's great that he's given those kids something actually to look forward to. I mean.
I know. All the 3rd and 4th graders are like, I can't wait.
It's gonna be mine.
I know.
As far as the other hats go and pilots go, any chance of a Food Network show?
Oh, I wanted to be a judge on Cupcake Wars.
Right.
But we haven't heard back yet.
It's nice that you can still have dreams.
Who knows? I love baking.
No.
Yeah, I love baking and I love eating what I bake, which is a problem.
Well, no, it's hard. It's hard to follow you on Twitter and everything just because it makes me hungry.
I know, but you know what the thing is?
First world problem.
Yeah, with Twitter, it's like when I first signed up for Twitter, I did get a little personal. Like, I'm feeling kind of sad today, or having a rough whatever. And then I was like, you know what? That's not what I should be doing right now. Because I can do that with my music. I can connect to people intimately through my music. I don't want to be on here on my soapbox, like talking about, if something ethical comes along, like I'll pass it along. But I just feel like that's not what I'm here for. And I'm not here to complain to people about my life. Like, who gives a shit, really, about my sadnesses? They can hear it in my music. So I've decided humor, food, those are good topics, you know. And then every once in a while when something a really important matter approaches, I can put it out there. But, yeah, so food does get, it's you know.
It's got a big
nobody
element.
can get offended by a
That's
food
true.
comment.
It's true.
Well, I mean, actually, people can, but everything I write, at least one person's like, "Well, I take offense to that," you know. So
that's a good way to build a foundation for a second and third career if you need it. So
yeah, so I have an actor, a comedic actor,
Right.
and then baker.
Yeah.
Well, I want to open up a bakery in Brooklyn actually at some point with my brother and my friend and his fiance.
Is it going to happen?
Oh, it's gonna happen. I just don't know when.
Sure.
But why not? Why can't it happen?
Sure. Why not?
This is my thing. I want to do everything I
Yeah.
want to do. I want to be too much, so I have to. But I think, yeah, it's gonna happen. When I really want something to happen, for the most part, it happens. For the most part.
Seems like it's worked out so far.
Well, hard work
Yeah. Takes
and
a lot.
patience, which I have little of, but I'm just